So when a man's manipulating you, they have you in ropes. I'm a rope manufacturer, and I'm going to teach you how these ropes of manipulation are created and the psychology behind how you counter them or spot them. We're talking about all things manipulation today. Love bombing, future faking, breadcrumbing, narcissistic raid, stonewalling, gaslighting, no contact, character assassination, hoovering, and not the cleaning type, but everything. So let's start in the early stages. We've just met someone and things seem like they're going well, but almost too well. Okay, it's almost as if this person's been made in a factory for you. Someone in a factory has got an instruction manual and it says, this person, whatever your name is, wants someone who has all these traits, and they're just, everything is perfect in the honeymoon phase, right? And they're love bombing you. And the first thing that you'll notice with manipulative people is a lot of them will love bomb you. They say what you want to hear, they'll do what you want to, they'll do the things you want to do. But it's a red flag sometimes, because if they're saying things to you so early, like, you're perfect for me, I can't imagine being with anyone else, where have you been all this time? One way I want you to counter this, if it's happening too early, is to literally say to them, don't actually know me that well, so why are you saying this about me, right? They don't have enough evidence to actually form a conclusion on you being the perfect person for them, especially granted that this is taking place in the honeymoon phase, which they should be aware about if they're emotionally intelligent, have some kind of premise of where their relationship knowledge is coming from. So call it out, say, well, how do you know all of that? You don't actually know too much about me. Now the next thing is breadcrumbing. Breadcrumbing is quite a common thing a man does to a woman, when it's essentially leading someone on without the intention of having anything with them in the future. So you're throwing out crumbs, and they're throwing out crumbs and they're expecting you to be chasing them, chasing their tail, taking the crumbs. Is the rate at which the crumbs are thrown are very intermittent. You don't know when to expect it, and therefore they can actually get you feeling quite addicted towards them, towards their presence, because the communication you get from them, the vibe you get from them is so intermittent, irregular, and full of surprises. You're almost addicted to it. And this is something a lot of guys will do early stages with you. You don't know what to expect from them, basically. Okay, so if you're not getting a consistent form of communication from them, you're not getting a consistent energy from them, their vibe is one day off with you and they're treating you badly, and then the next day they're treating you very well, or the rates and intervals at which they're contacting you is so intermittent, like one week they contact you every day, the next week they don't contact you at all. This can all be potential signs of someone breadcrumbing you. So what I want you to do when someone's breadcrumbing you is to not double text, is to not fall into their frame, is to be unreactive to it. However, before we play games with them back, before we mirror their behavior and truly leave them to it until they reach out to us, you can set your boundaries once. I would always say a healthy way of doing things is setting your boundaries once with someone, or even twice with them. And if they want to continue messing you about, we're either going to walk away or we're going to play them at their own game, because I'm the master of games, and I will teach you how to whip these men with ropes and chains into shape. But before we do that, let's be healthy about things, okay? Let's be a good dating coach. Pretend I'm Matthew Hussey right now, innit? I want you to state your boundaries with these men, okay? We do not play any games. We do not mirror behavior that is bad, because all we do is set our boundaries, and we are honest and good human beings, okay? So set your boundaries once or twice and say, can we get a bit of consistency here, darling? Your energy one week it's a bit high, and the next week it's a bit low. The rate at which you're communicating with me is all kind of mad. You know, sometimes I'm getting texts from you all the time. Sometimes I'm wondering if I should be texting your friends to see if you're still alive. You can say it in a jokey way, okay? And say, so, you know, what's going on? Can you be a bit more consistent? Can you be a bit more consistent? Try that. If they don't want to listen to that, then, you know, that's where my games come in. That's where my games come in. And that's when we mirror them, okay? Because they don't want to deal with it the healthy way. Next is stonewalling. Stonewalling is when someone ignores you and blocks contact with you. Stonewalling is when someone ignores you as a form of punishment, okay? In the love bombing phase, they're saying a lot of nice things to you, so you're now reliant on them because they're a source of your validation. Therefore, if they now stonewall you and stop speaking to you after an argument's happened or after a disagreement's happened, it really makes you feel punished. It really makes you crave their presence. It really makes you, even if you've done nothing wrong, regret potentially think you've done something wrong or regret how it is you spoke to them, even if you didn't do anything bad. Stonewalling is a very common narcissistic trait as well, actually, punishing you with the absence of their presence. Now, how you deal with this is when they eventually do get back in contact, or if you guys are talking again after they've stonewalled you, I want you to set your boundaries first. Again, let's do things the healthy way first. You can say, I want to deal with someone who has enough emotional maturity to speak to me if they have a problem, not ignore me like we're back at primary school. Do you understand? Right, so say that to them. See how they deal with it. If you have stated that to them once or twice and they continue to stonewall you when there is an issue, darling, I really would be thinking about whether you even want to see someone like that. But I know what you're like. Me saying in a YouTube video that's not the right kind of person for you to be dealing with is not enough, or enough for you to realize it and truly internalize that, even though logically you could probably agree with me. So in that scenario, if they're stonewalling you, mirror their behavior, wait for them to reach out, negatively enforce that bad behavior, positively enforce it when they're back in contact. Next is gaslighting. Now, gaslighting is a very serious form of emotional abuse. It's something that a man can do to you to basically make you doubt your perception of reality. So let me give you an example. If you're 100% sure that you maybe saw something on his phone, or you heard from a friend he was up to something, he can lie to you so well that it makes you doubt your sense of reality, doubt your perception of reality. Like, did I really hear that? Did I really see that? Am I wrong about this? Now, if a man is constantly making you doubt your perception of reality, a way that I would deal with this personally is, if it's something that's happening consistently, I want you to write a journal. Okay, I write a journal every day. Nothing to do with gaslighting. Nothing to do with gaslighting, because there's no one here out gaslighting me. I have other reasons as to why I like to journal. But if you're journaling every single day and you're writing all the things that your partner is doing, okay, all the different things that you're noticing and spotting, you can always refer back to your journal. And when they're gaslighting you and making you doubt your perception of reality, you have your journal and you're like, nope, on the 14th of Feb, we were meant to go on a Valentine's Day and you said XYZ. Or when we were meant to do this on this day, you did boom, 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 and you know. But the fact is, if you have to collect receipts to prove your partner has done something wrong when you already know they've done something wrong, that in itself should be that in itself should be an alarm for you, to make you realize that something might be going wrong. Another thing men will do to manipulate you is character assassinate you. Okay, character assassination is something they will do maybe when you've made them feel a lot of shame or rage, okay, especially in narcissistic men. Character assassination, they will speak bad about you to everyone they know as a way to kind of balance the shame they're feeling and try to load balance that onto you. Not really many cures you can have for this, except for just know that your friends will have your back, the people around you will have your back. They can only really character assassinate you to people who don't really, I guess, know the true you, or people who maybe have their back more than you. So as long as you know who your true people are and you know they got your back, you're calm. Very important one that I see very commonly is men will do all these things to manipulate you. And when you call them out, or you have a big argument, or better yet, you're confident enough to leave them and walk away, they will start hoovering or love bombing you again, cleaning up all their mess and love bombing you again, saying everything you want to hear, taking you to the places you need. These manipulative men are smart. They're devious, they're cunning, but they are intelligent, and they know what to say. They know how to treat you, to reel you back in with those ropes and tie you up. But darling, you know how those ropes are manufactured now. Okay, you know that the ropes that are being tied around you with the words of affirmation from the love bombing, we know, we can see through it now. Okay, if it's too good to be true, their behavior after an issue has happened, it probably is too good to be true. And you need to really be thinking to yourself, really and truly, long term, are they going to maintain this consistency of how they're treating me while they're trying to fix things? Because in most cases, that is not how they're consistently going to continue treating you long term. Although in some rare occasions, you know, you really teach a man what he's done wrong and he can actually change his behavior long term, but it's just rare. I'd be lying if I said I've seen it very often. Really and truly, call me arrogant, call me cocky. I don't feel like I could be manipulated by a woman. I feel like because I'm grounded, because I'm happy, because I don't need that person around, the manipulation can kind of be seeded and moreover be inflated if you require that person. If you don't really need their presence, when the bullshit is coming your way, you're just dodging it without even noticing. Do you understand? So be grounded. Have a strong circle of people around you who you trust, who can tell you if you're being led astray by someone who's manipulating you. Have your fulfillment derived from multiple different sources. Keep a journal of what's going on with things. You can always refer back to it if you're being gaslighted. Be aware of words of affirmation being thrown around too easily as a form of love bombing. Be aware of stonewalling and how people punish you with their absence because they have become a source of your validation. And just stop being manipulated.